Thank you, Juan. I think you're the next president, pretty much. We need one of those. Wonderful to host you and Limor here, the head of Israel for Hamilton Lane. It's really exciting opportunity to have a deep dive into one of the more interesting companies in the financial sector. Juan and Limor, we just heard about the untold, semi-hidden story of this big private market story. Can you try to explain why it's so challenging to explain the world, this blue ocean? I think it's about 2-3% total investment in private markets, while the potential is so significant.
Well, I think in fairness, it's because we were way smaller, so not even 2% of the MSCI market cap. So we're the smaller part of a global investment landscape. And we were only institutional. So you really had to have hundreds of millions of dollars to have managed this way. And so people here know Harvard Endowment, Yale, the traditional large US endowments, the pension plans that I mentioned are really the global first investors. And so it was not really available to individuals. Family offices were typically not that invested. And that has changed over these last decades, and I think that's what we're coming to.
Limor, in Israel you work a lot, not only with public institutions and companies, but also with private ones. Can you say a little bit about that?
Yes, well, just a few words about myself. I started with Hamilton Lane in 2005, where we came to Israel, and we were very much early comers. There was no private equity in Israel, and nobody invested in private equity in Israel because you couldn't. So the Beker reform took place in 2005. It was a big reform allowing the Israeli institutions to invest globally. In my previous world, I knew private equity investing, and Hamilton Lane started working, came to Israel, and we started working with the large Israeli institutions, educating them, changing the regulation, and over the years, we built for them amazing private equity portfolios, and I'm very proud that the Israelis today are in par with parallel institutions around the world, and we will speak about it shortly. There is a big revolution now in the private markets, really enabling the private investors to invest in private markets the way only institutions could invest until recently. This is something new that's happening just now.
Thank you. And you're really a pioneer because you started the whole private market investing concept for major Israeli institutionals, and we feel very grateful for that. Juan, we have people here from across the spectrum, investors, politicians, private individuals. One of the biggest questions is, what's the strategy? So this is a blue ocean, and needless to say, Israel is such a fascinating story. How you approach, you as part of the leadership of Hamilton Lane, how you approach the private market investing, from infrastructure to crypto to other credit funds, etc.
Well, that might take a few more minutes. I see only 4 minutes left. But can I answer the part of Israel in that piece? I think in the world we live in, whether we agree or not on the forecast, there are a number of things that are here to stay. You have more of a transactional landscape, you have more challenge to currencies, you have more challenge to trading, and growth is at a premium. And it's already been mentioned this morning that Israel offers growth, offers framework political stability, offers global trade and engagement. And those three things are going to come, and offers, of course, innovation in the high tech specifically. So when you're managing large private market portfolios, you want to position portfolios for that. You want to find growth where it is. You want to find fundamental scalability and open trade. And you want to, frankly, whether we, again, agree or not, you want to invest truly globally, not just in the US. And Israel is a very important part of our strategy for that, in venture and throughout EMEA, of course.
Thank you, Juan. Limor, you work a lot with institutionals, since you know the Israeli institutionals landscape very well. Could you please explain how you approach the institutionals allocation in Israel?
Yes, of course. As I said, when we started, there was no private equity and there was no... So in the beginning, you build the core of portfolios, the best of private equity, and you give them access globally. And over time, each institution has its own, how do you say, taste or will. We, as you mentioned earlier, we are the private allocator, the largest allocator into the private markets in the world, okay? So the fact that we allocated last year $30 billion into the private markets gives us access to the best investment opportunities out there. We get core investment opportunities from the funds that we invested large amounts of money into, or others who we haven't or want to get close to us. So through them, we see amazing deal flow. And you couple that with our scale, our deep, deep data. We invest a ton of money into data. And the access we get, we just show the Israeli institutions, whether fund investments or co-investment opportunities. Over time, they became very sophisticated. They invest alone, and they invest with us.
Thank you, Limor. Juan, whether it's your 40% or Hanan's 60%, at the end of the day, it all starts from the heart.
Yeah.
And you showed us these beautiful photos, and especially since October 7, when it was so challenging for people around the world to go and travel, you walk the walk and talk the talk, and you've been to Israel many times, and in general, you're fully committed to the market. Can you speak about your personal journey, flying there so many times and being there on the ground?
I was just doing my job. So we literally, as Limor would tell you, we just had a normal conversation on my next visit. And the biggest compliment we got is our clients, our partners, our team. How could we not visit? And we behave like an Israeli company. So we did like any Israeli company would do, which is get on with the job. Our job is investing. And we invested about $250 million from just the end of September, including the attacks well into the next few months, just on that 6-month period, which is kind of our job.
Amazing.
I will say a story. Early November, just 23 after the war, Juan called me and he told me that he wanted to come to Israel. And I said to him, "Are you serious?" No one came to Israel at that point, and I will never, ever forget that sentence he told me in my life. He said to me, "If it's safe for you, it's safe for me," and he came. And
Well said.
And he supported our team. We have a team in Israel. He supported our clients. He supported the company, Israel, and the economy, and we continued investing. We had investments in November and December.
So, two last things before we continue this fantastic journey. One is on technology. You guys are investing a lot in technology to better understand and invest in private markets. Israel is home for so many startups and fintech companies. Limor or Juan or both, when you look at the Israeli market today, where are the exciting things that you look at as a global company? And you, Juan, you spent so many years in Asia, so you have a very global view on the future of technology in financial markets.
Well, I mean, in financial markets, for example, I think that we're very close to looking at tokenization and digital assets, all the gaming industry, all the monetization of gaming technology that Israel pioneers has and can be applied and is applied to fintech, and we're investors in that globally. We're the largest asset manager in private markets using digital assets. Cybersecurity, of course, is not new, but it's just hard to overemphasize how Israel leads the world. And that, we were just having a conversation this morning with 5 managers for breakfast, which is what we do. We're constantly looking at investment opportunities to talk about the consumer, right? The development of a consumer market.
I will say one sentence. It's my personal belief that the vintage of after the war in Israel will be one of the better ones, or will be outstanding. The younger generation, the drive, the passion, the resilience is outstanding, and I think we have doubled down on Israel. Like Juan said, since October 7th, we've invested close to $250 million in Israeli funds and companies.
Amazing. So, Juan, last words is yours. Everyone is listening. What's your final thoughts about how to continue and support this universe?
Just talk to Limor. No, I think it's again, it's an honor, it's a privilege for Hamilton Lane, for all my partners. We are a company of 800 people. Everyone wanted to be here. It's my personal privilege. So again, thank you. This is an amazing company, an amazing event, and Eli, this is unbelievable. And stay the course. Keep investing. Just shout it out. You have to be investing. This is the time to invest.
Terrific. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Limor. And thank you guys for listening.